Oh, never mind.
A bomb has been located by Op 4.
2 guys on my body.
They have Ying. That's gonna make this very dicey. Jaeger can cover this. They have each other covered. Jaeger does not need to swing this. I don't think he realizes that. Yeah, there is zero reason to swing that. 1v1. Chicken camps. I can see if you... I'm sorry.
That's right.
So I can see if he walks in there. Oh, skis. Oh, skis. Because what Chaos X does on Twitter, back to the coaching thing, I followed him for a long time. He does a lot of analytical stuff. Like, he does these tweets where it's like, you're defending this bomb site, you can reinforce the wall in like 2 or 3 different ways. What do you do and why? So he does a lot of analytical stuff, which I personally... I am not as analytical as he is, whereas like Shaz is also very analytical. Like, I don't care as much for, like this. You're defending T and Karaoke Skyscraper, but how would you set up the T walls facing the drum? A, B, C, D. Right? I don't really care about this stuff, because all 4, okay, the 4th, D is a bit questionable, but like, all the other A, B, and C options, it depends on what attack you're expecting, what your setup is, what operators you're running, how aggressive you're gonna play. Like, there are so many factors to why you should make that decision, right? But also, I think it's more valid to talk about things that are more common, like, for example, if you're attacking CCTV, when should you go for a garage attack, when should you go for a master bedroom attack? Or you can also just give a scenario that I did that in my bootcamp, where I said, you're attacking CCTV on Clubhouse. Step 1 is to open up the server main breach, like any other team would do. Are you going to go garage, or are you going to go gym? And then I put certain operators on the map in certain positions, and then the boot campers, the people I was coaching, would have to explain to me why they would go for a certain attack and what they would do. And what I did, and this is like an entry-level like task in my eyes, is that I put Asami and Wamai and Jaeger on catwalk. Only one player, like Asami is playing catwalk, or you know, but there's Wamai magnets and Jaeger ADSs. Already here, no matter what the rest of the map looks like, you should not go for garage. It's a bad choice, right? It's the lowest percentage chance of working out. You should go for a gym attack, or for a master bedroom over attack to connector. But it's just like some people in the boot camp were like, oh, we're gonna attack garage by opening up the wall, walking below, we're gonna throw 6 flashbangs, and like, grenade, and capital arrow, and walk up and win the... I'm like, it's not a bad idea. It's just really fucking difficult, you know? And then some people are like, oh, we're gonna, because of this setup that is so heavily fortified towards garage, we're not gonna challenge, we're gonna go for a master bedroom connector attack instead, and ignore that element of the map and waste that utility for them. Or make them waste that utility for us, right? So, as a coach, there's many different ways to approach problem solving and the analytical part of the game. When you should do something, when you shouldn't, when a wall should be enforced, when it shouldn't. And I think the best and most valuable thing you can teach is, it's not to explain every scenario in detail as to when you should do what. It's to give people the understanding of how to make the decision themselves. Because as long as I am coaching you, and I'm telling you, like, it's almost like being at an exam, where like your mentor asks you questions in a certain way and you can answer them. Well, the second he doesn't do it the right way, or the way that like, it works for you, maybe you cannot now no longer like get it right. Whereas, let's say, for example, that if I teach you how to get there on your own, then you can always deal with that, right? And I think that's the most valuable element that one can learn to be taught, is how to get to the right conclusion and understanding yourself. And that is teachable. I would certainly argue that it's teachable. Holy smokes. That guy just fried my shit. We almost wallbanged him. He also one-tapped my teammate.
One friendly operator remaining.
Because I've always been interested in coaching from like how it works, what you can do, what I would do scenario. Because I'm always very critical of mistakes and how to play a map or how to play a game. Always has been. This guy's insane. Like the first thing I do when we lose a round, I'm always like, why did we lose? What caused us to lose? What can we fix? Or what do we have to fix? Which is a very negative way to view the game, but it's more like, I don't want to lose the same way twice ever. Like, that is unacceptable. How do I feel about hopping back on Pro League for a roster? I'm up to date with strats and feel like you can perform at a high level. I feel like the strats are very simple these days. I actually feel like this is a less strat-oriented meta than we've seen in the past, so I'm not worried about that at all. The only thing that worries me about Pro League if I were to return is that the game is a lot more frag-oriented and aggressive these days, which not every player has to play super aggressive because there are roles and team definition playstyles that aren't centered around it. But I have less than an average aim in Pro League, or about average aim in Pro League, I would say. Like, I'm not a Shaik or a Palo or a Nisk or a Sport, I'm not a young gunner, I'm 25 and balding, right? So that's my weakness, and I can offset that weakness by playing support, I can play flex, I can IGL, I can hold the bombs as an anchor, check cameras, etc. I can make up my value elsewhere for sure. But that's like the only actual word that I would have is that I'm not a frag-oriented or aggressive mechanical player, which is like less favored these days. But trust me, people will have to ban Monty against us. That alone, like, I will bring back Monty into pro play, and it will get banned against me. Like, it has to be, or people will have to learn how to play against it without having played against it for a long time. Trust me. I will force teams to ban certain operators against my team because I am sick and tired of watching professional teams in Pro League not play flex operators. It's so... It bothers me. It bothers me. Because it's such a valuable trade to get an advantage in the operator ban phase by them banning a certain operator constantly, right? And very few teams, basically no teams at all, play around that aspect. Alright. We're sending it. We got Blackbirdie. Someone in chat said that Clash is shit, but Clash is actually hidden overpowered. I've always said this, and I still believe it. Clash is hidden OP. That's like saying Munty is shit, because you don't know how to play Munty. Munty is like insanely fucking strong. Like really, 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 really strong. But very few people can play him well. And even more so, very few people play around him. You know? Which map do you pro players in general dislike the most at the moment? Every pro player has a different opinion on what's a good map and what's a bad map. Personally, I think Oregon is in the gutter like entirely. I think that's one of the worst maps in competitive play right now. I think Border is the same. My favorite map personally is Clubhouse, for example. Everyone's different though.